Welcome to the FanDuel Punch Out. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11. With me is Russell Clay, at Russell J. Clay. Take a look at the FanDuel 9-game slate for tonight, which there is a Coors game, and it involves Adam Morgan. Yeah, we're talking, things could get horrendous. Like I just imagine like Adam Morgan's out there and it's it's family night. It's family night at Coors, and like people by the third inning are like hiding their kids' eyes, like walking out of the stadium. That's how bad Adam Morgan's just getting shelled.
I agree. Can I just say real quickly that I think I need a birthday present of a soundboard. I got to stop doing these shotgun sounds because I need, you know what I'm saying? I need to step this up.
You need, like, when I mentioned Adam Morgan, you need, like, the scream in the background. Like,
yeah, like, ah!
Yeah.
When's your birthday? My leg!
When's your birthday?
November.
Okay.
I could probably find a free one tomorrow, but again, I'm being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, in the comments, guys, listeners, post some soundboards for us. We'll get some air horns. We'll make this a rap style DFC.
We want to be like the obnoxious strip club DJ. Like exactly. You know,
we're gonna play your favorite songs and just get stuck on that same, and I'm gonna be spinning them. Oh, that is the worst. I don't know who decided that was a cool idea.
I don't know, man.
Hot 99.3. Tune in for our rap music.
Looking at the first game here, we got the Tigers and Blue Jays. Drew Hutchison versus Justin Verlander. And for me, I like the Tigers bats a little bit more here than the Jays. I like some of these prices. Just Hutchison, obviously kind of an average right-hander, has pitched better at home in the Rogers Center for some reason in his career. But I kind of like some of these prices. Cabrera at 3.3 is really nice, and you got to look at Coors. They don't really have a first baseman outside, that you can target, so he could kind of fit in nicely there.
Yeah, definitely like that call. Great price there, and I think in general, this slate's a lot more fun than DK tonight. Honestly, there's just a lot more salary to go around and sort of fit in guys. So yeah, I do like diversifying a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, definitely. The Tigers have some decent values. Justin Upton 2.7, Stephen Moya 2,200. That's a decent punt against Hutchison in the Rogers Center. Moya has an ugly swing, but he has an odd amount of power. And you look at him, 5 homers off righties this year, hitting 278. So I don't mind that. As a punt play there.
Right, and the pressure's really off him in that lineup. He's just, they don't rely on him for really anything. So, I think that's a good spot in the lineup for him. And at his price, you're not really worried about him hitting in the 7th spot if you're only paying $2,200. So, yeah, I do like that call.
Yeah, definitely. And on the Toronto side, for me, Carrera and Saunders prices were down on DraftKings, not necessarily down really here. And I'm not big on targeting Verlander with lefties. I never mind Donaldson and Encarnacion really in any spot with their upside, but I don't really see myself getting too much exposure to the Jays here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Again, with Coors and some other better matchups, I'm probably not going to be having much of my usual Donaldson and Encarnacion, which is a sad thing, but yeah, I think we're avoiding.
Yeah, obviously we always know their upside. They're always in play for GPPs. I'm not leaning them on cash games, but obviously they would just be tournament swerves at most.
Right.
Indians and Yankees here. Ivan Nova versus Trevor Bauer.
Much better. Oh, I feel like I just dipped into a cool pool with these Indians prices here. Very, very reasonable. I just had a totally different perception from looking at the DK slate. It's just kind of like you kind of almost knock him out of play, but here you can fit him into pretty much any lineup.
Yeah, for me, these guys are gonna be value plays mixed in with Coors bets for me. I think that's just where you got to go tonight. You look at Nova. 357 WOBA to lefties this year, 1.78 home runs per 9. Righties 341 WOBA. So I love Kipnis at 2.9. I like Chisenhall at 2.4. Chisenhall's a great price tag. So for me, I mean, I think you can look at these bats front end, back in there, and feel pretty comfortable attacking Nova.
Yeah, even a Mike Napoli, you mentioned that Woba there for righties wasn't even too great. So at 3K, I like that spot hitting cleanup, you know.
Yeah, definitely, and they can mix and match well. The one guy I'm probably not a fan of is Lindor, just because Story's actually really cheap for the matchup. I think Story's gonna be the guy. Just, I mean, 100% exposure for me. He's gonna be chalky here on FanDuel, but I'd be worried to fade.
Yeah, 32. He's even less expensive than Lindor, so that's tough to fade. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Nationals and Mets. For me, I mean, I'm not really looking at too much offense in this one here. Harper and Murphy a little too expensive for my
Yeah.
taste.
You'd be really going out on a limb jumping into this game. I think it's tough. I mean, maybe you get a homer from Murphy or something like that, but you're paying up. I'd just rather either go to the Indians or just dance around with some different value games than jump around with this Nationals team. And then Giolito, I mean, I thought he pitched well in those first 4 innings in that first start. So I don't think I'm necessarily targeting the Mets either.
No, I mean, you look for him. He could get you a quality start at 7-2, picks up a win. You're looking at jumping on board with a lot of Indians and a lot of Coors bats,
Yeah.
and with Giolito, that 7-2 price tag. So definitely a way you can kind of go there tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we kind of you don't exit out, but you scribble it out in pencil for sure.
Yeah, maybe you want to erase a guy who just maybe fits in if you were looking to do
Yeah, there you
contrarian,
go.
but I'm not
Yeah,
jumping all over these bats.
right.
Twins in Texas here. For me, I mean, it was much more the same here. I mean, Sano, Dozier, pretty expensive, but I mean, obviously that Twins kind of back end of 5, 6, 7 guys with Vargas, Kepler, and Grossman are kind of intriguing against Gonzalez, who's just your average run of the mill right hander. And you look in Texas, I mean, great ballpark for power, and that's kind of what this Twins team does. There is a lot of power here.
Yeah, I definitely like that grouping. Obviously 2,100 for Vargas, 21,700 for Grossman, or 2,700 for Grossman. Yes, there's a lot of good prices. I tend to lean towards the lefties on the Rangers here. I'm in on Mazzara for 2,700, and I'm also in on Fielder for 2,700. So probably leaning more Mazzara, but I think he actually could fit in with some of those Indians and some of those Coors bats. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think you want to pick your spots with this game. Definitely some nice value, though.
Yep, I definitely agree. I think Texas is a fine offense to kind of put in there. Braves and Cubs, this next one here, Lucas Harrell, Jason Hamill. Obviously, the Cubs are an interesting swerve away from Coors and away from the Indians. Still kind of priced highly, but obviously we know the upside that Bryant Rizzo can do. For me, I mean, I like Wilson Contreras as a $2,800 catcher. He's a nice ad there, hitting cleanup.
Yeah, definitely looking at that range. Bays is a much better price here, so he is in play there. Beyond that, though, I mean, unless you're getting weird, I could see a Rizzo, but 4,400 is pretty expensive. And again, I think you want to focus on the Nolan Arenados of the world. But hey, I do like Rizzo in that matchup.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good spot for him. And as far as the Brave side of things go, I mean, some of them are pretty cheap, but you know what? When you got the Indians prices at that level,
Yeah.
when you got some Twins and Rangers guys at that level, there's no
And
need to really attack Hamill there.
yeah, and we'll even get into the Royals in a sec here. I mean, I think you just go that direction instead of the Braves.
Yep, no, definitely, completely agree. A's and Astros here, Rich Hill versus Doug Fister, and some of these bats are pretty cheap, like Houston. I mean, you don't really see a Springer at 3-1 ever, or Correa at 2-9. So for me, I don't mind taking a shot at Springer here. He's probably about the only Houston bat that I feel really comfortable using. I don't really see myself paying 3-9 for Altuve, even though he's godlike against lefties.
Yeah. Avoid the Astros tonight for sure. I just like Rich Hill. I like that matchup. I like that K percentage on both sides. So yeah, liking Hill, little expensive for what you want to do with some of the offenses here, but as that is, I think you just use that and avoid the Astros.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, just a high strikeout rate. Hill misses a lot of bats, really tough on righties. Kind of
Mhm.
just what this Houston team's kryptonite is. It's just, they'll eat on fastballs, but those fancy, curveballs and secondary pitches get them pretty good.
Right.
So, next one here. Oh, I guess the A's. I mean, you can look at the lefties. I mean, there was really only two that I was looking at.
Oh, you left for school or you left for work and forgot your wallet, and you before you pulled out, you were
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
I
wait a second, I'm not leaving without my wallet," and you
right.
remembered.
I
Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
talk about some Josh Reddick
yeah.
and some
I was
Steven
gonna say,
Bones. They're
uh,
they're not bad options here against Fister.
yeah.
Fister's been tagged by lefties this year, 393 WOBA, 2.31 home runs per nine. So I don't mind left-handers here for Oakland.
Yeah, no, Vaught definitely like him against righties, and gotta like Josh Reddick at 2,700.
Yeah, definitely. He's a really nice value. So there's really a lot of value outfielders. I mean, and you
Yeah.
can really plug two of them in if you wanted to get a Cargo, wanted to get a Blackman, or you go 2 for 1, whatever you want to do there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mariners and the Royals, and I'm sorry, but Nelson Cruz at 3,100 against the
Ooh.
lefty is insane price. I'm not sure what happened there. I know Duffy's been relatively solid, but uh, 3,100 for Nelson Cruz, I don't get it.
I think it was supposed to be 37, and like someone erased the little edge there. That's the only thing I can come up with. Or it's supposed to be like 41. I don't know. That's bizarre. And Cano's priced up to 41. So that's really weird pricing. I mean, I think you kind of have to do Cruz. That's like a cash game.
There's a
Cash
lot of
game
different
viable.
ways you can go in the outfield there.
Yeah, I honestly think punting outfield is the move tonight, and then pay up for Arenado, sort of run with Story there, and do maybe even a Rizzo. Maybe you can fit him in. I don't know, but that Nelson Cruz price definitely opens some stuff up.
Yeah, it definitely does. And he's kind of really the only guy I'm looking at from that Mariners offense. And
Mhm.
as far as the Royals side, I mean, they're pretty cheap too. And Paxton's really not a guy that I'm afraid to kind of not target. I mean, 340 WOBA to righties
Yeah.
this year. And I like Whit Merrifield at 2.7. I think he's an intriguing second base option. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I think this is a lineup where you pick your spots. Like you said, you like Merrifield. I think Salvador Perez is pretty decent value there. But again, not a full stack. I think that it's kind of clear the power lineups you want to go with. There's going to be a lot of runs from those lineups, but I think the Royals can chip away as usual, and could be some nice value in that lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And now we get to the bread and butter of the offense, which is Coors. Chad Bettis versus Adam Morgan. And Adam Morgan, I mean,
Oh boy.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy.
It's, I mean, he may quit
Mm.
baseball. May quit baseball.
Yeah. Oh, you should check out the DK pod if you haven't. But we basically talked about all the different places Morgan would want to be rather than pitching tomorrow in Coors, because this is going to be a bloodbath. I mean, you were saying potential for over 2.5 home runs. I'm thinking that's pretty viable as well. This could get ugly quick.
Yeah, I mean it's borderline scary, and I think you got to look at a lot of those guys. I mean, for me, obviously, Arenado at 4.4 against a weak lefty in Coors is going to be a top play, the top hitter of the slate. But God, Trevor Story at 3.2. I mean, where did that Coors pricing go? Why isn't it there? I mean, I would even take him more expensive if he was in Philly against Adam Morgan. That's how bad Morgan is.
Oh man. So you don't like Tomlin, correct? For the Indians?
No, but this is even comparable. Morgan's far worse than Tomlin. I mean,
I was going to
Morgan.
say, okay, with Tomlin's clearly decent. This is like disdain right now.
Yeah, he's bad. I mean, he's borderline. How did you make it to the majors? Bad. So, with what you can say, I mean, this is obviously the Rockies are a top offense to target. Really, 1 through 6 there for me. I don't think you need to take a Reynolds at 3.7 or a Hundley at 3.2.
Yeah.
But obviously, a Rayburn at 3.3 is intriguing. You're getting Core's exposure and Story just 3.2 at that price tag facing a weak
Yeah,
lefty.
that's cash written all over it.
Yeah, and I would GPPs. I don't know if I can make a swerve.
Yeah. tough to swerve off that at short for sure.
So
So I mean, and we haven't even talked about the Phillies yet. They're also in a really good matchup. I mean, you look at Cody Ash and Odubel Herrera against Chad Bettis there. Obviously, Bettis has had his struggles in Coors, and we don't necessarily fault him, but I think he's another target tonight.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Bettis, 375 woba to right-handers, 1.68 home runs per nine. So, it, obviously, coming off of Arenado for Michael Franco would be tough to do. But if you do want to make a pivot somehow, obviously, it's in a decent spot for Franco. I like Cameron Rupp, 3.5. Tommy Joseph, 3. I think those are the guys I'm looking at, and I don't mind
Mhm.
Ash and Herrera, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and those are kind of guys that have some pop, but are normally not total power hitters because they don't have this type of optimal matchup usually. But I think they're guys you can definitely target in a slate like this.
Yeah, for sure. So, definitely a game to really get exposure to.
Yep.
Padres and Dodgers, Hyunjin Ryu versus Drew Pomeranz. And overall, I mean, I'm not really looking at the Dodgers. I know you're not. We were talking about being a pro Pomeranz pod, a PPP. And,
Yes.
that was your come up. So obviously looking more at the Padres here. And obviously the Vegas total is very low for them.
Hmm.
The prices are actually not as value as I thought they were going to be. So as for DK, I was looking at them more so as contrarian values. But here, there's far too many other options I'd rather have.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think again, we ran through it. It's a 9-game slate, and normally we don't get nearly as excited about some of these lineups on 9 or 8 game slates. I mean, there's 4 or 5 legitimate strong tournament lineups and cash lineups out there. So I get sort of the appeal of going with a Solarte or maybe a Matt Kemp. But I don't know that it's necessarily worth it.
No, I just don't think so. I mean, we talked about so many value outfielders,
Yeah,
and obviously third base is just has Arenado written all over it, so it's hard to spin down. So I can't see myself using an Upton or a Kemp. Will Myers maybe 3.7 just because he's at a position where Rockies don't have a guy. Obviously, you could take Joseph, but Will
yeah.
Myers is still a guy I don't mind at 3.7 for GPPs.
That voice you just used to describe Will Myers is pretty much dead on. Yeah, we can just leave off with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's hard to pivot from a lot of these guys. So I think
Yeah,
price considered here on FanDuel, it kind of narrows a lot of things down. Definitely a wide range of ways you can go here. I think things are a little bit more freer.
for sure.
So that's going to wrap things up here with the FanDuel Punch Out. Be sure to check out davefantasycafe.com for all the great tools and content.